Welcome back to Reggie Red's Reactions. It's your boy, Reggie Red. Today we're gonna be checking out one of Trump's last social posts. The post he made to Pam Bondi instructing her to hunker down and get these convictions going, even though they have no proof of any wrongdoing. And we're gonna jump into this thing. And if you like this video by the end, make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends. Hit them alert bells too, so you know when I'm dropping my next video. Let's jump into it. Yesterday on Trump social media platform Live Social, he made a post directing his AG, which is Pam Bondi, to go after his political opponents no matter what. Now, did he really just give up his immunity by doing this? Let's read the post. Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially same old story as last time, all talk, no action. Nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Schiff, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is going to be done. Then we almost put in a Democrat-supported U.S. attorney in Virginia with a really bad Republican past, a woke rhino who was never going to do his job. That's why two of the worst damn senators pushed him so hard. He even lied to the media and said he quit and that we had no case. No, I fired him, and there is a great case, and many lawyers and legal pundits say so. Lindsay Halligan is a really good lawyer and likes you a lot. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and our credibility. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served now. President DJT. Well, seem like that can of worms is starting to open up a little bit more at a time, because he accidentally gave up his immunity. And watch my boy Ben from Midas Touch break it all the way down of how he did that. Let's check him out.
Did Donald Trump waive his claim to absolute immunity based on the social media post he made over the weekend on his private Truth Social account on a platform, Truth Social, that he owns, where he said, Pam Bondi, his attorney general, prosecute my political opponent, Senator Adam Schiff, former FBI Director James Comey, and New York Attorney General Letitia James. I want to dig in to the United States Supreme Court's July 2024 decision on absolute immunity. I want to then dig into another case called Knight First Amendment Institute at Columbia University versus Donald Trump, decided by the Second Circuit in 2019 and then ruled upon by the Supreme Court in 2021 regarding Donald Trump's ability to block people from his Twitter account. And I want to share with you Donald Trump's arguments that he made in the Knight's First Amendment case, where he argued at the time that his Twitter account was a private account that was not a government-run account, and that he was blocking people in his unofficial rather than official capacity. That distinction, official versus unofficial capacity, is an important concept in the Supreme Court's 2024 order, where it gave Donald Trump absolute immunity because the Supreme Court said that Donald Trump is not entitled to absolute immunity for unofficial conduct. So, if Donald Trump argued in the 2019 case that blocking people on Twitter was done in an unofficial capacity because his @RealDonaldTrump versus versus his @POTUS account was unofficial in nature, wouldn't it follow and be a more persuasive argument that his Truth Social account owned on a platform or operated on a platform that he owns, Truth Social, that would be purely unofficial in nature as well? What I want to do in this analysis is also share with you Justice Clarence Thomas's concurring opinion in the 2021 Supreme Court case involving that Knight's First Amendment Institute v. Trump. The case name changed and it was eventually Knight's First Amendment v. Biden because Biden won the election. He became president. And then the Supreme Court ultimately dismissed the case or vacated the case as moot because Trump wasn't in office anymore. So the Supreme Court never had to address the issues of unofficial capacity versus official capacity as it relates to Donald Trump's social media posts. But what's interesting is Justice Clarence Thomas was very critical of Twitter at the time and these digital platforms that he was railing against and saying these private digital rogue platforms, they're really who need to be blamed, not Trump in that case. Well, Donald Trump owns the digital platform Truth Social, Clarence Thomas, so your attack against Twitter as being private in nature and as this private entity that should be held accountable, wouldn't that translate now, to use your own words, against you, Clarence Thomas, when Trump now owns a platform, Truth Social, where he is sending these messages, which I believe are unofficial in nature? Now, another important point is that Donald Trump created Truth Social when he was not in office, right? It was after he lost the 2020 election. He created the @Donald Trump account on Truth Social when he was not in office. And so he's posting on there in a personal capacity, in my opinion. And it's not like this is some town square where Donald Trump is conducting official presidential business. And I would also point to, get this, the SEC filings that Donald Trump has made as it relates to Truth Social, where Donald Trump is basically an endorser of Truth Social. For me to prove to you also that it's unofficial conduct, one of the things that Donald Trump has is a contract in his private capacity to promote Truth Social by posting on Truth Social, but it's not in a presidential capacity. And if it was, I believe that they would have to make certain additional disclosures in their SEC filing. So let me put on my law professor cap. For some of you who don't know, I'm a law professor at USC when I'm not doing Midas Touch. And I'm a constitutional scholar. So let me just go through my assessment. You could agree, you could disagree. Obviously, by now, unfortunately, by now, you know the post that Donald Trump made over the weekend. So my thesis that I'm arguing to you is that statements like this that Donald Trump makes that are incriminating in nature are not entitled to absolute immunity. Now, Donald Trump's Department of Justice is not going to criminally prosecute him. Pam Bondi's not going to criminally prosecute him. So I don't expect anything under this regime to happen. Let me be very clear. But in a future administration that would look at Donald Trump's criminality, in a future assessment of a presidential crimes commission, the likes of which I've heard Democrats like Congressmember Swalwell calling for after Donald Trump's out of office, to me, this immunity argument that I'm making to show that there is no immunity, I think we have to analyze it. And I want to share my thoughts with you now, just so it's always out there, no matter what happens to me or what happens wherever, that there is this legal analysis that's out there in the public. And I want to go through it again very diligently. So in 2019, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, you know that we have district courts, then appeals courts, then the Supreme Court, and there are appeals courts in different regions, throughout different circuits throughout the country, right? So the Second Circuit's like in the New York area. So this case was called Knight's First Amendment Institute versus Trump. So it was heard at the district court first, then there was an appeal to the Second Circuit, and then it would have went up to the United States Supreme Court, but Trump was out of office, so the case was moot. In the district court, a federal judge found that it was improper for Donald Trump to block people on Twitter using his @RealDonaldTrump account. The district court judge said that Donald Trump was using that account for both official and unofficial purposes, and that in this multi-purpose use by Donald Trump, because of he was in office, he couldn't block the people under his account. But Trump's arguments, which I'll read to you soon, I'm private, unofficial capacity, this is not my official account.
Well, there you have it, man. Just got himself into a world of doo-doo. Like my boys say, man, ain't nothing gonna happen in this Justice Department. So we're gonna have to wait until the midterms and beyond for something to happen to Trump from all this criminal activity he's been doing, all this grifting, the money he's making off the backs of the American people while the economy is fucking up. He's fucking over the economy. Then keep lying about it, saying that inflation is at 2%. Last I checked, inflation was at like 2.7, 2.8%. But in the future, we ain't gonna know if these numbers are real or not. The people that Trump putting in place, how they change up these government websites, it's hard to trust anybody in this fucking government. It's hard to trust any numbers that they tell us because we know they lie so motherfucking much. So it's gonna need to be an independent um like company or something to do these numbers now because we ain't gonna get the truth. You want the truth, you gotta actually seek it out. And that's what we do on this channel. We seek out the truth. That's the end of that one, man. Like I said, if y'all like the video, leave a like, drop a comment, let me know what y'all think. And I'm gonna be back later with some more videos. Peace.